Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching the video of this, I must apologize. The light is dreadful. I'm 96 hours without electricity, so I'm using what light is available. I've got my torch over here, I've got a lamp that's basically dead over here, so the light is not great. But we have to worry about the tournament, the biggest chess tournament of the year. That is not the World Championship. It is the women's candidates for 2026, the tournament that will decide the next challenger for Wenjun. Of course, Humpy Conneru has pulled out. So with that said, let us get into the candidates, and we're going to have a brief discussion about all of them before I make my predictions. Now, of course, we've got Wenjun here on the left, if you're watching, and we've got Zhu Jiner. She's the first person we're going to talk about. Chess.com's got this amazing graphic where you can compare all of the potential challenges against the current women's world champion. So we can say Zhu Jiner has never beaten Zhu Wenjun. She's 0-3 against the current world champion. Now, there are a few players here where we could set up at least at least the third all-Chinese matchup in a row. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it might be the fourth. Because Zhu Wenjun has successfully defended her title in a couple of tournaments, but I think she won it from Tanzania. She defended it most recently against Tanzania, who is a challenger, and we will get to her in just a moment, and against Lei Tingjie. Now, Lei Tingjie not in this tournament, but still, we could have an all-Chinese affair should Zhu Jiner qualify, but she's not the only person we have to consider. There is also Aleksandra Goryachkina, who is a phenomenal player and always does score quite well, and she's got a positive score against the world champion. Now, of course, positive scores against the world champion are not everything, but it is something to talk about if we get that future matchup. This would be very interesting. Goryachkina is a very strong competitor. Always she is near and about. But she's not the only one. We have to talk about the young upstart. Did it load? Divya Deshmukh, who's the next one we'll talk about, from India. One of two Indian players. That is not the correct graphic. There she is. No games against Zhu Wenjun. Now, of course, Divya qualified by winning the Women's World Cup. It was a bit of a shock. That's how she got her Grandmaster title. And she's put on a lot of very strong performances. Now, she may not have played Zhu Wenjun, but she's got a 3-0 score against one of the other competitors in this field, Vaishali Ramesh Babu. Now, I always find the women's field very hard to call, and that is because there are so many quality players. Like, we go from Divya to Tanzania, who has played, I think, the most amount of games of anybody against Zhu Wenjun, 16 losses, 11 wins and 34 draws. She, of course, is a former women's world champion. She lost the most recent match to Zhu Wenjun, but a very strong competitor nonetheless, and she would be one of the strong favorites. In fact, I think she will win. Spoiler for when we get to the thing, I think she's that strong that she could be another challenger for Zhu Wenjun. But this is a very unpredictable field. I feel like the open section is far easier to call. We've got Vaishali Ramesh Babu, the second Indian. Only 4 games against Zhu Wenjun, hasn't been able to beat her. 1 loss in that time. A very, very strong player from India. She's probably the stronger of the two Indians. Even though she's got a negative record against Divya. She's been a Grandmaster for a bit longer. She's been in this kind of tournament before. She didn't have a great candidates, if memory serves correctly, the last time out, but you would expect a much stronger showing from her. But we go from her to, someone who, again, another Russian, another player that's been around a long time, a net 0 score, 2 wins, 2 losses against Zhu Wenjun, Katerina Lagno. Again, the two Russian players are going to be very strong, going to be very tough to beat, and you would imagine at least top half of the standings, along with Tanzania. They are the 3, what I would say, front runners, but this field, it is so open, it is so hard to call, and I'll explain a bit further when we get on. Then we've got Bibisara Asubayeva, who is having a phenomenal bit of form at the moment. Of course, finished very well in the women's rapid and blitz. Did very well there. Was invited to play the FIDE freestyle at their event there. She played the women's exhibition match, and she's having a phenomenal bit of form at the moment, and she could be a very strong competitor. Now, of course, we know about her accolades in terms of the short time controls, but she's a very good slow time control player, but has got no games against Zhu and Jun. So her and Divya, I think, would provide the most interesting matchups in terms of playing Zhu and Jun, because they've never played before. The question is, how strong will they be against this massively stacked field? And then finally, we've got the lady who wasn't meant to be here, Anna Muzychuk. She replaces Humpy Konaru. She's got 1 win against Zhu and Jun, 3 losses, 10 draws. Now, how will her preparation be? Because she wouldn't have known that she was going to be here a month ago. Humpy Konaru pulled out only a couple of days ago. Muzychuk, a very late replacement. Will she be able to hit the ground running? She's a very strong player in her own right, but she's not the strongest player in the field. She's 25-22. The strongest player in the field is Zhu Jiner, who's 25-78. Tanzania is 25-35. Katerina Lagno is 25-08. Aleksandra Goryachkina is 25-34. Bibisara 25-16. Vaishali and Divya both 2400. Divya 2497. Vaishali 2470. So Divya actually does much better on rating. And then Anna Muzychuk 25-22. So about middle of the pack. So it'll be a very, very interesting tournament indeed. Now let's go and check out my predictions. I'm using this chess.com feature where you can predict. Now, as I said, my pick to win would be Tanzania. So we shall put her at number 1. Now it is very hard to call the rest of the field. We've got the second Chinese player in Zhu Jiner. We've got both Russians. We've got, of course, Anna and Bibisara. I think in second place will probably be Goryachkina, followed by Lagno, and then I think Bibisara could do very well and score 4th, and then Zhu Jiner. I think maybe Zhu Jiner could go above Bibisara, maybe. So I think, can I move her there? There. Yes, so Zhu Jiner 4th. Then it's finished like that. I think Vaishali might struggle. So Humpy Konaru obviously not playing. So I'm just, for that sake, she would have been the 3rd Indian player, but I'm going to move her to the bottom, or maybe I can just move Vaishali above her. I think, okay, let's move Divya. This is not working so well because my mouse has also gone flat in all the problems. Now, I do not think Anna Muzychuk will finish necessarily bottom, but it'll be very difficult for her not to finish bottom considering how late she's coming to this. So if Humpy Konaru is our substitute for Anna Muzychuk and vice versa, I think this will be very close to the end of the field. I think Divya does better than Vaishali. I would hope she performs better, but against such a strong field, again, this is nothing against Vaishali. Someone has to finish bottom or near to the bottom. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to not do so well. I think this will probably be close to our field. But again, I stand to be corrected. So, for those of you who can't see, my final predictions from bottom to top. In 8th place, Anna Muzychuk. In 7th, Vaishali Ramesh Babu. In 8th, Divya Deshmukh. In 5th, Bibisara Asubayeva. In 4th, Zhu Jiner. In 3rd, Katerina Lagno. In 2nd place, Aleksandra Goryachkina. And in 1st place, to challenge Zhu and Jun for the Women's World Championship, Tanzania. Let me know what you think about those predictions in the comments down below, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you think? And who do you think is going to win this Women's Candidates for 2026?